Hello, and welcome to Melco Says Create. Creating is hard. Get inspired and learn with us. I'm your host, Monica Maldonado, and I'm joined with
Corey Willis.
the one and only Corey Willis.
That's me.
Yep. Well, I hope you guys are ready for our topic today, because we are.
Ready.
So ready, even though I'm still a little bit sick. I'm still pretty ready.
She's sick.
Just a little bit. I'm better.
She's better
than last week.
That's
So,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're still recording no matter what.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm here sickly. But anyway, I keep saying, do you want to discuss what the topic is? Do you want to share?
You want me to introduce the topic?
Yes. Thank you. Introduce, not discuss.
The topic is about setting up goals and knocking them down.
Yeah.
Set the goals and then finish them.
Exactly. And we think goals are important.
Yeah.
And we have some things to share about them.
We do.
And maybe some experiences of having goals, making goals, finishing them, or even not finishing them.
Oh. So what are goals, Monica?
Goals are the object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim or desired result.
Did you write that definition yourself?
I did not. The Google did.
The Google did.
I believe.
The Google wrote it
I
for
believe
you.
it was the Google.
Wow.
But yeah, it's definitely something that is important, not just for artists, but I think anyone in general, to have goals for life, goals for a specific vocation, goals for pretty much everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But related to art, related to your craft, whatever it is that you do, I think goals can open yourself to new learning experiences. Whether it's positive or negative, you'll always learn something, whether you finished your goal or not. And complete your goal is what I mean. You at least start your goal, and sometimes, life gets in the way or something happens, or you just really weren't efficient enough to finish your goal. Either way, you learn something.
Yeah.
So I believe that goals are important, not just for the learning experiences, but it's good to kind of picture, at least for me and other people that I've spoken to, picture in your head of where you want to see yourself as, with what we're talking about. I mean, as an artist. So where you want to see yourself as an artist next week, or in a month, or in a few years, even next year, what you want to see yourself accomplish. I think it's good to kind of have not a vision, but like a picture of that in your head, to strive for something even better than where you're
it's
at.
The old saying, if you don't set goals, you'll hit them every time.
Oh, yeah.
Because you won't be doing anything.
Exactly.
So if you're not setting up your goals, you're not going to accomplish much of anything.
Right. So set them up, people.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So first, I'd like to go over the types of goals you can have. So you can have a goal for just finishing a particular project. Like if you're working on a novel, like, okay, my goal is to finish this novel. My goal is to finish this painting. Other ones are a little more nebulous, like reducing wasted time, like just focusing on your art more. That's more of just like sometimes it is better to have a hard, fast goal where it's like you have something very tangible. Either you finished the painting or you didn't, where it's like, did I reduce my wasted time, or did I become more efficient? Like that's something that's a little harder to track, but that can also be useful, like streamlining your creative process. Like especially like, let's say you want to do a new sketch every week. If you're not efficient about it, you may not be able to keep up with that. Or like in Inktober.
Inktober, hey!
Where you try to do a drawing a day.
Yeah.
With ink. Inktober. If you don't have like a streamlined process for doing that, then you'll end up taking way too long on each drawing, and you end up doing like 4 in the month instead of 30. So sometimes, like, and with writing too, like if you can streamline your process as far as like, okay, I already have like my template and whatever program you're using set up for like the story structures. You just kind of plug in your information. You have your character sheets ready. You just type in the information instead of wasting time every project starting from scratch. And like, I should look up a story structure outline or something. Use that. And then you end up wasting all these hours when if you streamlined it, then you could like, okay, I'm going to write a short story every day this month or every week or something.
Yeah.
If you have that process all taken care of, then you can keep up with it. So that's another type of goal.
That's a good one.
And then another one I wrote down was saving money for art supplies.
Oh.
Or, okay, let's say you're a writer and you really need a laptop. Like you have your desktop, but you don't have a laptop for on-the-go writing and you really need it. Well, have a goal to, I need to save however much money if you want a PC, like $500 for a PC laptop. If you want a Mac, at least $1,000. You know, set a goal for a dollar amount and just said, okay, I'm going to save, $25 a month. It's going to take me 100 years, but I'll get there.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it's not limited to just the art form itself. As far as like setting a goal to finish this piece, there's a lot of things around it that can help you along the way. Like have those bigger ones, like I want to finish this book.
Yeah.
But it's like, what other things would help me finish that book? Would having a laptop that I can take on the go give me more opportunities to write? Then that should be a goal too, is getting that laptop.
Yeah.
Or getting that new travel painting kit. There's so many different things, different types of goals that can help you besides just the straight up project goals, which I feel like that's the main focus for most people. And it's like, don't forget about the other goals too.
Yeah. I think it's also encouraging for yourself to have those goals and so that you can see yourself like, oh, wow, I'm making goals about this, about my art. I mean, it shows how serious you are about it, and it shows how much you really want to grow in it. So even if, you don't get that far into your goal, but you at least started and you're pursuing it, even though you haven't reached it or it takes many years to reach it or whatever, I mean, it at least shows like you are serious about this and you're growing. I think making goals is a sign of you growing in your craft or even as a person, because it's like, I want to get better. I want to learn more. I want to grow more in this. So yeah, having all of these types of goals is really important. Even if you don't, get to it every day, but it's written down somewhere or it's, in your head at least. It's like, this is a goal of mine and I want to do it.
Right, exactly. And maybe you should introduce the next segment because it's kind of your baby.
It's my baby.
Your baby.
Okay. No. No, thank you. Are these goals, the goals that you're making, I don't know if this is going to make sense. I'm going to try. But just, I guess it's kind of a caution. What do you call it when you're telling somebody to be cautious?
A cautionary tale.
Oh, okay. Cautionary tale. Just to make sure that, not that your goals are, I mean, that's important too. Hang on. My brain is farting.
Okay, let me help you out here.
Thank you.
I think what you're trying to get at is make sure the goals you're setting are the most important ones and you're not sacrificing your time for goals that are not that important.
Yeah.
So like if you're going to set these goals and set aside time and sacrificing time with family and other things, that you reserve it for the stuff that's really important and not wasting time on stuff that maybe in the long run won't help you out that much.
Yes, that, and it can kind of go the other way where the goals you make, you'll be just be careful with what you're sacrificing, I guess is what I'm saying. Like your goals should be a priority, but not so much that you are ruining your health in the making of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like having that balance, because sometimes you'll have a goal like, I want to do a painting a day, and you sacrificed an important family event just because you wanted to keep that or something. You know what I mean? So sometimes knowing when that goal is getting too far and you're like, okay, I'm going to push this goal a little back, or I'm going to make this a smaller goal because it's affecting my health. It's affecting my relationships. It's affecting, my family, whatever it is, I think, just to be cautious with that. And I guess it goes along with what I was saying before. If you don't finish your goal isn't what defines you. So it's not worth getting really depressed over or really discouraged over, like, I didn't finish every day of October. I'm a loser. Because, that's not who you are. You don't walk around with a shirt that says, I'm a loser because I didn't finish every day of Inktober or whatever.
I'm going to buy you one if you don't finish it. You have to wear it every day in November now.
That's not who you are. You aren't just an Inktober person. You are an artist. So if you don't accomplish that goal, it's not the end of the world. You at least went through an experience that grew you. And yeah, that's kind of all I had to say with that. If there's anything more you wanted to add. Alrighty then.
So now that we've talked about what goals are, what types of goals there are, and maybe some of the scariness around them, or just things to watch out for.
Scariness.
We want to talk about how to make sure you're keeping track and finishing your goals. So the first step is, how exactly are you making these goals? Are you putting it on a sticky note and sticking it on the cork board? I guess you wouldn't put a sticky note on a cork board, huh? You know what I'm saying.
You have to put the push pin on it.
It's true, but that'd be a little bit redundant.
Yes, it would.
Yes, it would.
But it wouldn't.
It would work.
Yeah.
The point is, you can do it physically, like write it down on a piece of paper and stick it up somewhere where you're going to see it. And none of these are mutually exclusive. You could do all of these different methods of reminding yourself of these goals. But some people only do it physically. You know, they have just like a little reminder, little piece of paper. I would never look at it. If it was my desk, I'd be like, what is this paper? Oh, that's right. I put that paper there and crumple it up and throw it away. Or you can have calendar reminders, just regular phone reminders. You know, pick up your phone, like set a reminder to remind me to finish this time, whatever.
Right.
So it's important to, I think, try to use every angle. So that way you miss the phone reminder, but then the paper reminder was still there and you saw it.
Yeah. That's kind of like what you do, mainly, right?
Yeah, I mainly do digital. Paper stuff doesn't work too well on me.
I like the paper stuff, I think, because I grew up doing that.
Yeah.
I would have, like, the little check marks. I don't do that anymore because it's, like, too much for me. I'm just like, no, I just know I'm going to do this, and I do it. I still write it out, but I don't look at it every day. But I know I need to finish it.
Right.
But I keep myself accountable. So I feel like it just depends on the person, what works for them. Because a lot of people do Post-its and put it all over their mirrors and doors, and it works for them, but not for me.
Yeah. So it's more about just finding what works well for you.
Yeah.
And it may be one of those things, or it could be all of them. Maybe you just have to plaster your whole wall with Post-it notes to remind yourself. So
that would look pretty fun.
Yeah, that would look really fun. Yeah. Maybe make it into like a drawing using different colored
Ooh,
Post-it notes.
Oh, you could easily build like a robot.
Dear.
Like make the shape of a robot with Post-its.
Yes, you could.
Anyway, the next point would be to make the goals realistic.
What does that mean?
I wish people could have seen my gesture.
She did a hand wave, just like very dramatic.
Make them realistic. So just don't, well, you could say many things with this. Like, don't overthink your goals. Don't make them too big to accomplish. And don't make them too little either. Like, so easy. It's like, oh, I'm going to brush my teeth today. No, that's not a goal. You do that every day. But anyway, I'm just saying, like, don't make them too small either. Make them realistic. Make them something that you will be able to reach.
Right. Instead of saying that I'm going to write 15 novels this year, how about I say I'm going to write a novel or 2 novels?
Yeah.
You know, depending on your schedule and your writing output. For most people, that's probably doable.
Yeah.
For the first rough draft. You know, if you're an artist, like, say, it really depends on what kind of art form and what size, and there's a million variables. But, you know, just said, like, okay, I want to finish 5 major paintings this year.
Yeah.
You know, and then have small little goals along the way. Like, by this month, I want to have this first one done or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's part of the realism is, like, don't set the goal so high that you'll be depressed no matter what.
Yes.
Like, if you tell yourself, I'm going to do 50 paintings this year.
Oh, my gosh.
You're just going to be sad because, like, let's say you did 20. That's insane that you did 20, but you'll be sad because you didn't get your 50.
Exactly.
Whereas if you'd set your goal for 15 and then you did 20, you'd be patting yourself in the back and like, yeah, that's right.
I agree. Yeah, so make them realistic. And if it's like a recurring goal, like maybe a monthly goal, be careful when you're going, like, say your first goal in January was, I'm going to make 5 paintings, and you do 5 paintings. And then February, oh, now I'm going to make 6. And then you just keep adding up. and then you become depressed because you can't get any better. It's like, just stick with the 5 and then like maybe build on from there eventually, not every month. Don't beat yourself up or kill yourself doing it.
Right. And what I think is important too is not just having, so specifically if you're talking about like a project goal, like let's say I want to finish this painting by the end of next month. Instead of that being your only goal, like that is the end goal.
Yeah.
But there's steps along the way. The first step is buying the canvas. The second step is making sure you have all the paints. Like just give yourself these little goals
Yeah.
along the way. Again, like you're talking about having the small goals by themselves are not good, but as like a
part
like
of
a sub goal.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are good because then
Sub-goals are
it
good.
kind of gives you just a little bit of like, okay, I'm making progress. Whereas like if you just set it for the end of the month, you might be that type of person that waits till the end of the month
Yeah.
to just rapidly finish the whole thing, and it just does the quality doesn't come
Yeah.
the way you want it to. So if you set these miniature goals,
I like what
okay,
you said, the sub goal.
Yeah, like the
Because it's a
sub-goal.
part of the bigger goal.
Right, exactly. So like, okay, in the first week of October, I'm going to buy the canvas and make sure I have the paints. In the second week, I'm going to sketch out some outlines for the painting, then experimenting with the form. And then the next phase will be like, I'm going to start painting it. I'm going to do the first layer this week.
Yeah.
And then the last week, I do the final layer, and then I'm done with it, and I have this finished thing. So that way, you're making sure you're working on it consistently.
Yeah.
And then if you move faster than your schedule and it's going well, then great.
Exactly.
But it's good to just give yourself those little nuggets along the way, like the little
Little nuggets.
little nuggets, little nuggets of goalage,
So cute.
nuggets of goalage.
Whoa, nuggets of goldage.
Yeah,
No, yeah, I agree. That's a really good idea.
yeah. So like when I finished my novel, I had the same thing. I had like, okay, I want to finish this many chapters in this month, and then like in 6 months, here's like the final. I want to have the novel finished. And then like just having these little smaller goals, like, okay, I'll finish these chapters. I want to rework this character this month. So you just have these smaller goalposts along the way.
Yeah.
The sub goals.
Sub goals.
It just keeps the project moving smoothly.
It does.
Instead of just having like, okay, by this date, this has to all be done.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh no, how am I going to do it? Whereas if
Yeah.
you break it down into like a more palatable sequence of events, then it's like, okay, all I have to do this month is this little nugget. This little nugget of
Nuggets.
goalage.
Oh my goodness. So cute. The little nuggets of
The little
gold.
nuggets.
So cute. Yeah, and it's also encouraging, kind of like what we mentioned earlier, I believe. More encouraging for you to be like, oh, yay, I'm moving forward the bigger goal. I'm crossing these sub goals off. So I like that idea. I never thought of calling it a sub goal. I'm going to have that in my head now.
Oh.
Nuggets. I'm going to make some nuggets.
The goalage, the nuggets of goalage
The nuggets of
are
gold.
very tasty.
Oh, yeah.
They're
They
very
are.
tasty.
They are.
Yep.
Do they taste like the chicken nuggets at
They
McDonald's?
taste like satisfaction.
Oh, okay. I don't like McDonald's, so I don't know why that was the first thing.
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
McDonald's. Yep. And even though I poo-pooed the ending date, you do want a final date. Like, this project has to be done by this date. And I like to coordinate it with events. Like we always talk about when we went to Norway. That was my final date. Before, like the week before we were going on that trip, I had to have the novel finished.
Yeah.
And having this sort of like, you have the date on the calendar, but if it coincides with another event, like if we're going on a family trip,
Yeah.
or there's a birthday coming up, just find something to put in the goalpost. That way there's like, oh no, I have to finish it for that thing.
Yes.
Otherwise I can't go. No, you will. But it's just like a fun psychological thing.
Exactly.
To like make
Yeah.
yourself finish
And
it.
that was awesome. Yeah, I think we did talk about this on another one. But it was awesome to see you, like, I think a day or two before we left. You're like, I need to finish. And you just sprinted. You just did, like, all of it. It was really cool. I was like,
Yep.
whoa, that was amazing. Yeah, having a finish date is helpful because then you have something, I don't know, I guess tangible. It's like, here's the finish line, and I'm going to cross it on that day.
Exactly. If you just have a goal, like if you just have finished painting of cow, the cow farmer who's farming baby humans.
What? Okay.
I mean, why not?
That took a turn.
Why not?
Yeah.
So, this painting of this cow, throwing feed into the human
Oh,
baby.
it's a cow farmer, like
Yeah.
a farmer cow.
Yeah, it's a cow who is a farmer.
I thought you meant a human farmer who farms cows. But you mean a cow
Oh,
farmer.
It's a cow farmer who's farming human babies. So he's throwing the feed in there to the baby humans who are crawling around in there.
Oh, my.
They're very rambunctious. They're very hard to keep under control.
No, don't describe them.
Don't describe it. So that's your painting. And you have your post-it note there saying, finish the cow farmer, the farmer cow, farmer Macau painting. And it's just there. It's just a sticky note. It's just like, okay, yeah, I'll work on that eventually. Whereas if there's a sticky note there, it says due October 4th. It's like, oh snap.
He means business.
He means business. You need that date.
Yeah.
You
I
really
agree.
need a date on it to give it some oomph.
Some oomph.
Some oomph.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I remember when we made goals a few months ago, like our art goals and writing goals. I think I did write dates of when I wanted things done. But I don't think I ever finished it on the before date.
Well, I think we missed some of our own advice of like setting up the calendar reminders.
Yeah,
and
I
things like
see.
that.
I didn't
We
use
do any
those.
of that. So
I
I think we
didn't.
need to do that.
Yeah,
Next time
I
we
think
set
the
our
key
goals.
with goals is just being persistent and maybe, yeah, and if you can, persistent and consistent. Because sometimes it's hard to be consistent, but as long as you have that drive in you, that persistency,
Yeah.
yeah,
Chutzpah.
I think that's really the key. And yeah, I'm gonna try my best to finish before the dates I write.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go over some of our recent life changes. That sounds weird. So, new work opportunities that, we're kind of changing our schedules and stuff. So
Yeah.
we're going to kind of reevaluate and make our own new goals
And that's life.
this week. So
Exactly.
it's very pertinent to our own lives.
Pertinent. Rambunctious. Nuggets.
Rambunctious. Yeah.
All these words.
Don't besmirch the good name.
Oh my
Those
goodness.
words.
Besmirch. Corey
Besmirch.
has a new obsession with the word besmirch.
Well, after everyone made fun of me for saying besmirch,
Then he would not
that's
stop
now
saying
my
it.
catchphrase.
Don't besmirch this, Monica. Don't besmirch this,
Don't
everyone.
besmirch my good name.
Don't besmirch.
That's right.
Hashtag besmirch.
That's right. So to recap,
Don't besmirch our outline.
yeah, don't besmirch our outline. It's important to know like the different types of goals you can set, not just
Yes.
projects, but productivity and just general life things that will help you be a better creator.
Yeah.
And then knowing what goals are most important to focus on and to not let them take over your life and make the rest of your life suffer.
Yeah.
So knowing how to balance that, and then knowing how to keep on track with the goals and how to set digital and physical reminders and setting
Yeah.
dates so you actually get them
Yes.
done.
How to set yourself up to actually knock them down.
Exactly. Setting
Yes.
up goals and knocking them down.
That's the title. So,
That's
I
right.
mean, yeah, there we go.
There we go. And with that, I guess we'll go over what we've been working on.
Yeah.
Why don't you start?
I will start. Well, my temporary photography assistant job is coming to an end
Coming to an end.
next week. It's going to be my last week. But it's been fun. I learned a lot about like photography and lighting and posing people for pictures.
Posing
it was
people.
It was an awesome experience.
Nice.
And aside from that, I'm still teaching my music kiddos and working in my journal for Inktober.
Yay!
Like I said before, I'm not able to do Inktober every day. I just can't. That's just my life right now.
She's an October loser. Inktober loser.
I need the shirt.
Fail.
I need the t-shirt. But my goal is still to do I think it is called the 5K. I heard Jake Parker say 5K because he's the guy who made Inktober. So what he says goes. You know what I mean?
Oh my.
I think he said it was a 5K or 15K, whatever it is. It's just half of it. So that's my goal. And I've been doing good so far. And it's been a really fun experience just doing this challenge because I've never done a challenge like this before. I've challenged myself, but I've never said, oh, I'm going to do this, challenge of draw this a day or draw a robot a month or whatever. So actually making progress in this challenge. I'm learning a lot because it's a medium I don't use often. And I've used markers, but I don't know. I think because I'm more serious in my art now than I was like 3 years ago when I tried it one time, I feel like my mind has opened new windows.
The chakras have been unlocked.
Just to art in general, like the way with my style, not only, but with perspective, with the way I draw trees and just things like that. I'm learning a lot, and I've only done like 4 days, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look really cool.
Oh, I thank you.
And I think it's like the perfect, what am I trying to say? I think it's very similar to short stories
Yeah.
in the way it's sort of like, it's more just like rough, it's more sketchy and just the ink. So you're not spending time on all the color.
Yes,
So
that's
it's just
what I
like a
wanted to
short
say.
story. And like short story, you can't spend a lot of time being flowery
Exactly.
and overly descriptive. It's just like taking the story down to its core. Just
Right.
like the outline of the story, just real fast and quick.
Yeah, and
so
it's
you can
so
kind
simple.
of experiment more and kind of learn.
Exactly.
I feel like it's a very similar process because I'm doing the same thing with a short story right now for October.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's very analogous. Whereas like the full painting is more like the novel where it's like
Right.
flowery and colorful and more in
Exactly.
depth.
And I guess kind of in the same comparison, like you can, even though I have all of these Inktober sketches, I can one day turn them into a painting. Whoa, did you hear that crack?
That was her arm. She's a very fragile body.
My bones are the weakest things in the world.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, kind of comparing it to a story. I can use all these sketches for a painting one day. But anyway, yeah, it's been a good experience not focusing on like, oh, I have this color to do in this color. It's like, no, I get it done. And there's a quote
There's only
by
one color. There's
Jake
two
Parker.
colors. It's binary. It's on or it's off. It's color is on or off.
Which he says all the time. It's finished, not perfect. So you just got to finish it and, not worry about all the little things. Just finish it. And that's what the challenge is.
Nice.
So I love this challenge.
Oh.
That's what I'm up to. How about the Curry Wallace?
I'm up to writing 2 short horror stories.
Okay.
One is an actual.
Wish I recorded the way your mouth was moving. What was up with that?
So one is like an actual horror story, like for reals, gory and scary and everything.
Ooh.
And the other one is more of a fantasy story that has like some horror elements. If that makes sense. It's not really. It doesn't have like the horror story structure and things like that. It's more of just like a fantasy story with some horror elements. So
I was trying to do a horror sound effect, like, ooh, but my throat, because it's still a little raspy, it couldn't. So sorry.
You poor thing.
But
Well, maybe
it's exciting.
you were
I
a ghost
can't-
who smoked when they were alive.
Oh,
Hey, I'm a ghost. Yeah.
not funny. But yeah, it's exciting. I really can't wait to read them.
And I am starting a new IT job.
Yeah,
So-
because he's a computer guy.
I'm a
That's
computer
what everyone
guy.
says to you.
Yeah,
you
I
no,
love
what
it
is
when
it?
people describe
You
me
like
as
computers.
You like computers,
You're a
right?
computer guy.
You're a computer guy. Like, yeah, I am. Thanks. Yep. So that'll be fun, and that gives me more money to focus on my art.
Simply put, it gives me more money.
It gives me more money. But it really does help
It
even
does.
the artistic side because, as most artists know, it's hard to work on stuff you're not getting paid for.
Yeah. Happens all the
It
time.
kind of you sometimes get too stressed to even work on the creative stuff because you're like, how am I going to pay for things? What am I doing?
And it's good
So,
to have something on the side always.
Right, exactly. So I'm going to have that job to pay the bills, and even it'll be a fun experience there on its own. But then I'll have the rest of my time to work on my writing in peace.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes, that'll be fun.
Yes.
So I guess I'll go over what inspired me this week.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
going
please.
first
You go first.
because I want to steal it. Hilda. Hilda on Netflix. I was like
Nice.
writing down Hilda, and then I see Monica. Hilda.
Yeah.
You little bug.
I see what you wrote. She stole Hilda from me.
That's right. I
did
heard
s-
about it from my brother first.
Yeah,
so
fine. Okay.
There you go.
So you get
We're
it
both
then.
inspired by Hilda, okay? it's a show designed perfectly for us.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's basically Over the Garden Wall, Adventure Time, and
the show Gravity Falls. Yeah.
It's like the three of those shows kind of mashed into one. Like it has the more like serious but still silly tone of Over the Garden Wall.
Yes.
So Over the Garden Wall is like,
It was pretty dark.
yeah, it's like very dark conceptually, like the concepts of like what is the meaning of life in a
That's
kid's
true.
show.
It was very serious,
like
yeah.
almost like a coming of age. Like, oh, I have to like figure out what all life means.
Yeah.
And existence and all these different philosophical things. Like, whoa.
I think Elijah Wood, he has a curse where all of the things he works on have to do with like a bigger picture, like
Right.
the universe or something.
Exactly. So it definitely has that sort of tone where it's like there's silly things happening and it's like fun and it's adventurous, like Adventure Time, but it has a much more serious tone at moments than Adventure
Yeah.
Time does. And I know Adventure Time does occasionally too, but it's a much more silly show. And then the setting is very much like Gravity Falls, where it's like there's all kinds of weird, wacky things going on, like the invisible people and things are similar.
Yes.
And I think the art too is similar to Gravity Falls in some ways, but it's great.
I love all
the
of
story
it, yeah.
and the art and everything
Yeah,
is
and it's very what's the word, like Nordic?
Nordic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure where if it's
I
actually
tried
set.
researching. Maybe I didn't.
It
research
seems like
enough.
it's just a fantasy land, but it's
I think
definitely
so too.
inspired by Nordic cultures in
Yeah,
some way.
like Trollberg.
It's like a Canadian British
Yeah,
show or something
British
like that.
Canadian.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. So it's on Netflix. So if you got Netflix, and who doesn't?
Yeah,
Check 'em
If
out.
you don't get it, just watch this. Do the trial and watch
Netflix,
it all.
call me.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, call us. Yeah, Hilda was, and we just watched it last night.
Yeah, we just watched the first
But-
2 episodes last night.
Yeah, it inspired me so much for Inktober too, because I've
Mm-hmm.
been doing trees and just like more big picture-y, kind of big sky pictures and whatever in my
Mm-hmm.
Inktovers. I didn't choose a theme. I just naturally did that because that's what I like to do.
That's what she loves.
And yeah, it really, last night going to bed, all I could think about was the art of that show. And like I was picturing the mountains and the cool creatures. Yeah, I'm glad that is a thing for us to watch now.
Yeah.
And then in addition to that, I just wanted to say all the people that on social media that are doing Inktober, seeing all the Inktovers, it's also very inspiring. It's really cool to be a part of this because the whole world is doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just look up on the hashtag or you just see all these artists on social media posting their Inktober and just looking at that, it's like, oh, I love how this person took that idea and did it this way. Or you'll take, because some people follow a prompt.
Right.
So it's cool to see the prompts come to life in different ways according to that artist.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's inspired me, Hilda and Inktober in general.
Yeah, kind of me too, because I've followed yours and then a couple other artist friends and seen their stuff. It's like it's fun to like see this constant flow of them like every day.
Yeah. It's so cool. I was thinking like that's awesome of how Jake Parker just came up with it one day and he's like, "Oh, just do an ink picture a day in October." And it's become this huge thing now.
Yeah, probably most people don't even know who Jake Parker is.
No, yeah, exactly. Like I remember him
outgrown
saying
him in
like
a way.
he goes to like a school like to talk about his book or something, and they're like, "How many of you know who I am?" And, like barely anyone. And he's like, "Have you heard of Inktober?" And like everybody's hands go up. Yeah, I made that. That's awesome.
You should have done a better job branding it. Jaketober.
And Jaketober, oh my gosh. Hashtag Jaketober.
Yep.
Draw a picture of Jake every day in ink. Jake Inktober.
Wow. That's a terrible idea.
Maybe so, yeah. Anyway,
Nice.
I guess that's it.
That's it.
We covered it all.
We covered
We hope
everything you could possibly need.
Yeah, we hope you learned something, and not you, Corey. I'm talking to the
Well, I learned
listeners.
something too.
That's true. I did too. You're right. But yeah, we hope that it has enlightened someone or encouraged
Get
someone.
out there and set your goals.
Yeah, and if not, then I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so get to your goals and knock them down.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it takes.
And until next time,
Moko says create!